Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more latest news. As you've just currently seen my Manchester United versus Barcelona preview of course as well, but potentially there's lots to talk about on this video today. Currently going into the Manchester United Barcelona game, I'm currently going to giving my predictions on that game. Also we'll talk a little bit about the Liverpool Porto game tomorrow of course as well, but there's also lots of other things to talk about as well. So going into this Manchester United Barcelona game, this is going to be a very, very entertaining game indeed. It's going to be a mouth-watering clash as we all know as well. And potentially, we've been in a bad vein of form recently. We've lost 3 of our last 4 games of course. Well, I think the majority of Manchester United fans, do expect us to go out in this game, over the 2 legs of course, because we know that we're coming up against an elite opposition. Barcelona, of course, obviously, going to win the La Liga again. I think this is going to be their 4th La Liga in 5 seasons, of course. Potentially they're a well-established club, as we all know. They've got an ecstatic stadium, they've got a lot of money. As I said, they're one of the richest clubs in the world, and they've got a fantastic team at Barcelona. Arguably they've got the best player in the world, if we were Lionel Messi, of course, as well. But Manchester United do seem to sometimes, rise up to tasks like this, to be quite honest with you. And we do know Manchester United are going to be the underdogs, going into this game. Obviously, Barcelona won at the weekend against Atletico Madrid by 2-0. But obviously, it's going to be a task. It's going to be a huge task for the likes of, Lindelof and Smalling, maybe even Phil Jones, maybe even contention, to come up against the likes of Messi and Luis Suarez, of course, as well. Because Lionel Messi is potentially arguably the best player in the world, and he's in sensational form at the moment. Obviously, our defence coming up against Luis Suarez is going to be a task as well. And I think we will be happy, for them to maintain a lot of possession, to be quite honest. We've got to sort of figure a way out, we've got to figure Lionel Messi out, to be quite honest with you as well. But potentially we do know it's going to be a difficult game, but obviously we do know that the winners of Manchester United and Barcelona, do play the winners of Liverpool and Porto, and it would be fantastic if Manchester United could get through over the 2 legs and get Liverpool in the semi-final, if they do beat Porto, to be quite honest with them as well, and that would be fantastic indeed. And we do know the winners of Tottenham and Manchester City play the winners of Ajax and Juventus, of course, as well. But potentially, you never know in football. Look what we did in the last round ago, against PSG, performing a miraculous comeback, making history in the Champions League. And obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, one of his most iconic moments as manager of Manchester United, of course, as well, making history in the Champions League, performing a miraculous comeback, from being 2-0 down in the first leg. Of course, in the second leg against PSG, don't forget Manchester United had 10 first-team players out, of course. Well, Barcelona, I know, won by 5-1 against Lyon in the last round, of course, and probably they are probably one of the favourites, to win the Champions League, of course, as well. But as I did say, a bit of team news going into the game. Of course, I hope that Rashford is going to be fit, for Manchester United, because of course he missed the Wolves game, due to an ankle injury he had sustained, as Manchester United, did confirm. But hopefully, Rashford, can be available for this Barcelona game, because we've still got some elite level. So we've still got some good elite level, players, that could cause problems for Barcelona. We've got Rashford that could cause problems for them. We've got Martial that could cause problems for them. They've got immense talent, and they're both still very, very young indeed, and they're growing and developing and flourishing in this team fantastically well. Rashford and Martial, Pogba, could cause Barcelona problems, of course, as well. So don't totally, rule us out, to be quite honest with you. Do I think we'll win the Champions League? No, we won't win the Champions League, I don't think. So potentially we've got to focus on trying to, get the top 4, to be quite honest. And I think we've got to win 5 of our remaining 6 games at least, if we can keep our top 4 ambitions alive, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was saying, because obviously we want Champions League football for next season. So in that aspect, it makes us have more of a competitive summer window if we do want to get the players to the highest level. Obviously as well, Ander Herrera had sustained a knock as well, and this is why Ander Herrera had missed the Wolves game as well. He was actually dropped, was Ander Herrera, but I think he did say he could be fit for this game against Barcelona, of course. We do know, obviously, that Eric Bailly is still out with a head injury. Of course, he's been in and out of the team this season. Darmian's still out with a knock injury. I think Valencia is still out with a calf injury, and we know Sanchez is out with a knee injury, of course, as well. So potentially probably will rotate it a little bit with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I think in this game against Barcelona, we've got to be aware of the task. I think if we do get chances, we've got to be clinical, of course, well. But I think Barcelona will maintain a lot of, the possession, to be quite honest with them as well. And we've got to sort of figure a way out. We've got to stop Messi getting holding onto the ball, to be quite honest with you as well. But Potentially, Barcelona, have got great players in their team. Ousmane Dembele, it's reported that he's got a hamstring injury, Ousmane Dembele, but reportedly he could be in contention to play on Wednesday night. Could Ousmane Dembele? I'm not too sure. Ousmane Dembele is only very, very young, he's only 21 years of age, as we all know, Ousmane Dembele, and he's sustained quite a few injuries, as a Barcelona player, as Ousmane Dembele, as we all know. I think Barcelona, signed him a couple of years ago from Borussia Dortmund. I think Barcelona paid around 106 million pounds for Ousmane Dembele. Of course, he's very, very young. He's only 21 years of age, of course, as well. But I think he did say he suffered a hamstring injury. Obviously, Barcelona have got Rafinha out for the season, of course, as well. But potentially, as I did say, they've got great players in their team. Barcelona, they've got a lot of money. They're one of the richest clubs in the world. They're a well-established club, of course, as well. I think they're 12 points clear at the top of La Liga, of course, as well. And they've got a great player in Ivan Rakitic, who I really, really highly rate. But as I said on my preview, to be quite honest with you, comparing Pogba to Rakitic, I think when Pogba's on his game and when he's playing really, really well, I think he's better than Ivan Rakitic, and I think he's one of the best midfielders in world football. Okay, his performances have been below par in the last couple of games of Paul Pogba's, and this is why Gunnar Solskjaer has been thinking about, tactical swift for Pogba, maybe rotating him in a different position, because maybe Solskjaer may want to see a different side of Paul Pogba's game, to be quite honest with you, as well. But potentially, I've analysed his performances overall in his 3-month or so period under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and his performances have been really, really good. His form's been rejuvenated fantastically well, and he's been fitting in that midfield trio very, very well, as Paul Pogba. But his performances in the last couple of games have been way below par, but he's built a fantastic relationship up, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as Paul Pogba. We do know there's still been rumours that I could possibly leave, and he's in his mid-20s, he's 26, so Paul Pogba, still got a lot of years ahead of him, of course, and he could cause problems for Barcelona in that midfield, to be quite honest with you. But they've got Ivan Rakitic of Barcelona, and Ivan Rakitic, for me, obviously he's aging up now. He's Ivan Rakitic. I think he's just recently, turned 31 years of age, hasn't he? He's got a really, really good pedigree, he's Ivan Rakitic, and I think he's been at Barcelona a number of years now. And most of his honours he's won has obviously become as a Barcelona player, as Ivan Rakitic. Obviously, there's been speculation of Ivan Rakitic, leaving Barcelona this summer, because obviously Barcelona have got Frankie de Jong coming in this summer as well. They actually agreed a £65 million fee with Ajax last summer, did Barcelona, as we all know as well. So they got in last summer for £65 million from Ajax, but it's a year in advance, so officially Frankie de Jong's going to be a Barcelona player in the new season, of course. There's also potentially now there's been rumours going on saying that Ivan Rakitic could be surplus to requirements, he could find game time hard, and there's been rumours that he could leave. I think from Ivan Rakitic's perspective, though, he still wants to remain at Barcelona. He's still got a contract with Barcelona until 2021, of course, as well as Ivan Rakitic. So I do really, really highly rate him. I think he's a good midfielder. He can play as an attacking mid. He can also play as a central mid as well, but there's been speculation that he could possibly leave as well. The one player that's been very, very disappointing for Barcelona, of course, has been Philippe Coutinho, of course, as well. I think he's aware of the danger, and I think he's aware of the problems, from his own perspective, what Manchester United can cause, because Manchester United do seem to rise to occasions like this. We are good on the counter-attack, we do press high up the pitch, very, very well, indeed, and potentially we have got the quality in our team that could cause Barcelona problems, of course. But Philippe Coutinho's enjoyed a very, very difficult time at Barcelona. There's been a lot of speculation about him possibly leaving Barcelona this summer, and he has been linked to a move to Old Trafford. I think Chelsea have been linked to him. I think it also mentioned that Paris Saint-Germain have been linked to Coutinho, and there's been a lot of rumours going on saying that he could be available for around £100 million this summer. But Coutinho's enjoyed a very, very difficult time at Barcelona. I still think he's got a long contract with Barcelona. He's been at Barcelona now a good 15-16 months. Obviously, Barcelona got him in January of last year from Liverpool for around £142 million. Obviously, he's the third most expensive player in world football. He's Philippe Coutinho. But obviously, Barcelona, I don't think are going to recoup the initial £142 million they paid for him from Liverpool. They still may get about 90 or £100 million for Philippe Coutinho. Manchester United, I think, have been interested in him. I don't think he's been like a priority for Manchester United, because he can play as an attacking mid. He can also operate as a winger as well. And he did have 5 great years with Liverpool, of course. Well, he was really, really good at Liverpool, so he is Premier League proven, but he hasn't lived up to expectation levels at Barcelona, and he hasn't replicated the form at Barcelona as he did do at Liverpool, of course. I think he's still 26, so he's still got a lot of years ahead of him, as Philippe Coutinho, as we all know. And it did come out a while back that Manchester United have approached his representatives. There's been quite a few teams that have approached his representatives. Man United were in talks in January, but reports came out a while back saying that reportedly he's spoken to some Manchester United players, Coutinho, regarding a move to Old Trafford, of course, as well. But essentially, Lionel Messi is arguably, the best player in the world, and I think Messi and Ronaldo are the two best players players in the world. And I think the difference is, Messi's a lot faster. I think he's faster than Ronaldo. This is my opinion, but I think Ronaldo's got better physical attributes. I think he's more skillful. He's Cristiano Ronaldo. If I'm going to be quite honest with you as well. So potentially it's going to be huge chance for Smalling and Lindelof, or if he's going to go with Smalling and Jones. To be quite honest with you as well. But yeah, it's going to be a very, very entertaining game indeed, as we all know. The one good thing is as well, when we do go to the new camp in the second leg, of course, this is going to bring back a lot of memories, for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because obviously one of his most iconic moments as a player, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's obviously, was in 1999, of course, 20 years ago, of course, when he scored the winner at the new camp against Bayern Munich in the Champions League final, of course, to get us the treble that season. So that's going to bring back a lot of memories, for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think, but the Barcelona manager himself is aware, that Manchester United, can cause problems, of course, we're good at pressing out the pitch, of course, as well. If we do get given them chances, we have got to take them chances. So we've got to be clinical in this game, and the performance has got to improve. I think they're going to maintain a lot of possession. Barcelona, they are going to create a lot of chances themselves, of course, but we can't allow Messi to have the ball too much, of course, as well. And that's something Manchester United have currently got to watch out for, as we all know, as well. So as you're all aware of, the winners of Manchester United, Barcelona, do play the winners of Liverpool and Porto, of course. And I'll talk a bit about Liverpool now and Porto. This is Liverpool Porto. It's tomorrow. Tomorrow night is Liverpool Porto. I think the first leg is at Anfield, of course, as well. Liverpool, I don't think will be I think they're focusing more on the Premier League, to be quite honest with you, Liverpool, because obviously they've already won the Champions League 5 times. Obviously Liverpool would like to win both, but obviously if they had to choose, obviously Liverpool would rather win the Premier League, because Liverpool haven't won the Premier League, for nearly 3 decades. Of course, they actually haven't won the Premier League since it got founded in 1992. Klopp hasn't really got a great managerial pedigree in terms of winning any silverware. He has, I think he won a couple of titles at Borussia Dortmund, did Jurgen Klopp, to be quite honest with you. But Liverpool, addressed their deficiencies, last summer. They invested quite a bit of money last summer, and they've addressed the deficiencies fantastically well. And I think that signing of Virgil van Dijk, really, really good. They paid £75 million to him from Southampton in January of last year, of course, as well. And he's done really, really well for Liverpool. And I think he's addressed their defensive deficiencies, fantastically well. I definitely think Liverpool are capable of beating Porto, to be quite honest with you, as well. Because Liverpool actually beat Bayern Munich in the last round as well, which I wouldn't have thought would have happened, to be quite honest, because Bayern Munich have got a lot of great players, but Liverpool actually won the second leg, by 3-1, of course, as well. So I think Liverpool will be actually, focusing more on the Premier League, of course, because obviously the more games Liverpool win in the Premier League, obviously that's going to intensify, more pressure on Manchester City, of course. Well, if City win every game now till the end of the season, of course, Manchester City, of course, are champions, as we all know. They are champions if they win every game from now till the end of the season. Of course, Liverpool have played a game more than City, so City have basically, still got that game in hand, of course, as well. But Liverpool haven't won it for nearly 3 decades, of course, as well. And I think they invested very, very well, and they've got a lot of good players at Liverpool. And I think they've got a great attacking trio in Salah, Firmino, and Mane, of course, as well. And I think they all link up together, very, very well indeed. And as I did say, my opinions on Mohamed Salah is a great player. His record against the top teams hasn't been great this season, but I think he's a great player. I don't think he's the best forward or winger in the Premier League, of course, but I think in terms of an attacking intent, he's definitely, one of the best. His physicality is good, his work ethnic's good, he's fast on the ball, he's tenacious, his work rate's fantastic, as I said, and his finishing is absolutely fantastic, is Mohamed Salah, to be quite honest with you, as well. And I think Sadio Mane is a really, really good player for Liverpool. I think, he's really, really good. I don't think he's on the same level as Salah, but I think he can still, create chances on a regular basis. He can also, provide, as I said, he can score goals himself, can Sadio Mane, and he also really, really highly rate Firmino. So I think they're blending very, very well together in that Liverpool team, and I think they're a great attacking trio, to be quite honest with you, as well. But potentially, I think Liverpool will do it against Porto over the 2 legs. But Liverpool, obviously, focusing more on the Premier League. They've only suffered 1 defeat in the Premier League all season, of course. Obviously, they'll be thinking about the game on Sunday, where Liverpool, because they've got a big game on Sunday, at home to Chelsea, of course. And Chelsea are capable of denting Liverpool's title hopes, to be quite honest with you. I know Chelsea haven't been in great form this season, to be quite honest with you. Against the top teams, they have been pretty poor this season with Chelsea, but on the day, anything can happen, of course, as well. So I think potentially from Liverpool's perspective, they'll be focusing more on the league. I think Liverpool did beat Porto, was it last year, something like that, back in February, 0-0 at Anfield, 5-0 at Porto, if I can remember right. I don't know what that was, to be quite honest. I can't really fully remember, but Yeah, so I think Liverpool will probably, beat Porto, to be quite honest, and I hope Manchester United can somewhere along the line beat Barcelona, and then, I'd be really, really happy. It'd be Manchester United and Liverpool Champions League semi-final, of course, as well, and what a semi-final, that would be, of course, as well. And potentially, I don't think this is the same Barcelona, as I was saying, back as I did say on my last video, in 2009, the beat us in the Champions League final in 2009 2-0. The beat us in the Champions League final in 2011 3-1, of course, as well. But I don't think they're as good as there was then, Barcelona. They're still very, very strong opposition, to be quite honest, with great, great players. And obviously, we beat them, back in 2008, 11 years ago. Paul Scholes had scored the goal, of course. In my opinion, guys, to be quite honest with you, it was actually, no, it was 0-0 New Camp, and it was 1-0 at Manchester United, but I don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet in these two legs against Barcelona, of course, as well. But we'll see what happens. I think Rashford should be fit enough. I think Herrera could return as well, which is very, very good news indeed. And as I have been updating you, I think obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer reportedly is going to get around £200 million to spend this summer, but people are saying maybe we should spend the money wisely, not spend too much money on one player, of course, as well, because we know Jadon Sancho is going to cost us around 100 million. We do know Rafael Varane's going to cost us around £100 million, of course, as well. And maybe we should spend the money wisely, and we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer, of course, because maybe we could get two or three players for £100 million or just more, of course, as well. And it's good that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is showing an interest in quite a few, young upcoming talents. So he's showed an interest in quite a few British players, and they're all very, very young indeed, because we have got a host of experienced players, and they do seem to be the ones really, that do seem to be as caused us the problems. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, does want about at least 5 new additions to Manchester United this summer, but I think he's expected to orchestrate a big summer clear-out. Reports came out the other day saying that he's ready to sanction 6 players off his Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer himself has identified the positions where he thinks United need to strengthen up. I think his priority is to get a right winner win. Obviously, we need to get a right back in. We need a centre back, someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof. I think we need a couple of additions in midfield, because it's looking like Herrera's on his way out, and I think we need a centre defensive midfielder, that's fast and tenacious, of course, as well, because I think the left hand side were okay, because the majority of our attack, is coming from that left hand side, as we all know, as well. But essentially, he's identified the areas where he thinks we need to strengthen up, and obviously, considering that we didn't spend out in January, obviously, we didn't spend much last summer. We didn't obviously, get as priority targets last summer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got to spend it this summer, and obviously, we've got a board that can invest, of who he wants to bring in, of course, and obviously, he wants to build a team worthy of Manchester United's history, because he can see the deficiencies in the squad. Obviously, now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got the job permanently. Obviously, he's speaking, a lot with Ed Woodward. You're obviously making plans for the summer transfer window. What players should stay, what players should come in, and what players should leave Manchester United, of course, as well. But as I did say, you can, see the deficiencies in the squad. But the thing is, we've got to get the right players. We've got the right ability to elevate Manchester United, of course, in the next 2 to 3 years. The most essential thing is obviously the club are still looking to hire a director of football to come in, of course, as well. And that's the most essential thing, because Solskjaer's going to need backing in this summer transfer window. Obviously we need a director of football to come in anyway, to change the club structure and all that as well. But basically, as I did say to you, Edwin van der Sar has been mentioned in the media, as we all know as well. And obviously there's been a few candidates names mentioned. Paul Mitchell was mentioned before. Now reports have been coming out about Edwin van der Sar. He's currently the CEO at Ajax at the moment. I've been updating you about this on a regular basis. He's the CEO at Ajax at the moment. I think he's admitted himself as Edwin van der Sar. He's admitted that he could return to Manchester United, to become our director of football, of course, as well. Maybe not yet. Maybe sometime in the future. But Edwin van der Sar was a great keeper for Manchester United. Of course, he served 6 years at Manchester United. I think he made just under 200 appearances for Manchester United. Edwin van der Sar, we had him 6 years. He won 4 Premier Leagues with us. He won Champions League with us. He also won I think he won the League Cup with us as well, didn't he, Edwin van der Sar? But he's currently the CEO at Ajax at the moment. He actually played for Ajax as well, did Edwin van der Sar. I think he was at Juventus as well, and we know that Edwin van der Sar was at Fulham. But the most essential thing is we've got to get a director of football, to come in as well. And as I've basically, been updating you guys on that, that a lot of players, could be leaving Manchester United this summer. And as I've been giving you updates on David De Gea, of course, as well, he could possibly leave Manchester United this summer. Maybe Paul Pogba could be on his way out this summer, but I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's confirmed, he wants them to stay. And I don't think he'll allow David De Gea or Paul Pogba, to leave Manchester United this summer. But there's been a lot of rumours going on about David De Gea. Manchester United have not yet, Man United have been in the process, of trying to get him a new contract. Man United have been in talks to get him a new contract, but reportedly David De Gea is demanding he wants around £350,000 a week, reportedly as well, if he's to commit his long-term future in Manchester United. So potentially he wants to be the highest paid player alongside Alexis Sanchez at the club, there's David De Gea. Reports are saying that Man United are not willing to meet his £350,000 a week wage demands, but potentially if we do have to sanction him off, obviously, we'd rather cash in for him in the summer rather than let him go on a free transfer in the summer of 2020, of course, because obviously last year Manchester United activated a 12-month extension on his current contract, of course, so obviously it keeps him under contract here until the summer of 2020, as we all know. But he's been a great servant for Manchester United as David De Gea. This is his 8th season now at the club. He's made over 300 appearances in all competitions. He's got 100 Premier League clean sheets. He's won everything here domestically as well. And essentially, we do know that he's the best goalkeeper in the world, and we do know that Real Madrid have been long admirers of David De Gea, of course. It's now coming out in the media saying that PSG are also interested in David De Gea as well. But I still think he wants to commit his long-term future at United, but he's demanding he wants £350,000 a week, of course, as well. So potentially, we will see what happens about that. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's reportedly, I think Manchester United have emphasised, 2 targets, to replace De Gea if he does leave Manchester United this summer, and that is Jordan Pickford of Everton and Blanc from Atletico Madrid. And reportedly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has emphasised, and he's basically said that he's interested in signing Jordan Pickford this summer if David De Gea is to depart this summer, of course, as well. Jordan Pickford, there was rumours about it before that Manchester United had showed an interest in Jordan Pickford. Obviously, his performances were really, really good in the World Cup. His performances were really, really good in the World Cup last summer for England as well. Jordan Pickford. Obviously, Everton got him for around £25 million from Sunderland a couple of years ago as well. So he has been at Everton a couple of years now as Jordan Pickford. I think reportedly it would cost Manchester United in the region of around £68 million, to get Jordan Pickford, of course, because obviously Everton would want to make a profit on Jordan Pickford. But reportedly we've identified him as a good replacement if David De Gea is to leave the club this summer. And obviously we know that Blanc has also been mentioned as well, the Atletico Madrid goalkeeper. I think it did say in the media he's rated at around £85 million. He's Blanc, so potentially they are going to cost quite a bit of money, of course. Well, but they are the 2 targets we've identified, for one of them, to replace David De Gea, of course, as well. And as I've been updating you, about Paul Pogba, what's been going on about Paul Pogba, as we all know, as well. We do know there's been a lot of rumours, linking him with a move to Real Madrid, as we all know. And I think his agent Raiola's obviously been in the process of finding him a new club. He's had a couple of negotiations with Madrid about a move. He's been to Manchester to have negotiations about a move for Paul Pogba, of course, as well. Recent reports have basically said, that obviously, Solskjaer himself has spoken to Paul Pogba, and from Solskjaer's perspective, he's happy at Manchester United's Paul Pogba, and he's probably still got a big future at Manchester United. But reportedly, it did say Man United were in the process of beginning contract negotiations, with Paul Pogba, reportedly as well. And reportedly, he was demanding an astronomical salary of around £500,000 a week if he was to remain loyal to Manchester United, and if he was to sign a new contract with Manchester United as well. But potentially at the moment, Paul Pogba is still under contract with Man United till 2021. Of course, there is an option of a further year as well. But I think Man United are keen on getting him a new 3-year deal, of course, as well. Because currently at the moment, Paul Pogba is on £300,000 a week at Manchester United, and reports were saying he was demanding an extra £200,000 pay rise if he was to sign a new contract at Manchester United. Paul Pogba, of course, well. But Zinedine Zidane's an admirer of the player, of course. I think Real Madrid are actually on the verge of getting Eden Hazard, of course, and then I think they're going to focus more on looking at Paul Pogba, of course. And reports have been coming out saying that Real Madrid are prepared to put a bidding of around £125 million for Paul Pogba this summer, of course. Reports came out the other week saying that he wanted an annual wage of around £14 million if he was to join Real Madrid this summer, which potentially would make him the most expensive the highest paid player, of course, at Real Madrid. There's also been rumours, going on, possibly, linking him with a return, back to Italy as well, where he did have 4 good years with Juventus as well. They did Paul Pogba, and we paid £89 million to him. Of course, now this is his 3rd season at Manchester United, and he has been speaking a lot about Real Madrid. A couple of weeks back, he was speaking a lot about Madrid, so this could have concerns for Man United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as well. So he was speaking a lot about Real Madrid, as Paul Pogba, but potentially, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed he still remains happy at Manchester United. So Paul Pogba's future is up in the air at the moment, to be quite honest with you. But we do need some new additions into that midfield, someone who can go alongside Pogba and Matic, because it's looking like Herrera is on his way out of Manchester United, of course, as well. And as I've been updating you, guys, as I currently said, there's been a lot of transfer rumours going on, as I said, and, potentially for me, we've got, there's players out there, that are available for a reasonable figure who Manchester United could get. Obviously we've got, Torre Alderweireld, he's been mentioned as well, and Manchester United will into him last summer, and do you think he'd address our defensive deficiencies, Torre Alderweireld? I think this summer he's going to be available for a reasonable figure of around £26 million, is Alderweireld. He's well Premier League proven, of course, he's grown and developed fantastically well, and he's been at Tottenham, quite a few years now, as Alderweireld, and I think he's lost that yard of pace. Obviously, he's just recently, turned 30 years of age, not too long ago, but we need someone that can partner alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line, and, we were linked with Torre Alderweireld last summer, but we couldn't come to an agreement to get Torre Alderweireld, of course, last summer as well, and obviously, we've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he's been mentioned as a current right back, as we all know, is Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and I think he's rated at around £40 million. Aaron Wan-Bissaka obviously only broke into the Crystal Palace senior team last year, of course. Well, I think he's made just nearly 40 senior appearances for Crystal Palace as Aaron Wan-Bissaka, as we all know as well. But I think he's rated at around £40 million. It did say Man United were preparing to put a £35 million bid in for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, of course, as well. But for me, I think his defensive capabilities are good. I think he's got the ability to elevate Manchester United in the next 2 to 3 years. Obviously, I think he'd be a perfect successor, to the likes of Valencia, looking like he's on his way out of the club. He'd be a perfect successor to Ashley Young, of course, as well, because he's young and ambitious as this player, so we can get him for a reasonable figure, of course. And I think it's one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets. Of course, he's one of England's youngest upcoming prospects, of course, as well. So potentially, he has been one of Manchester United's targets as Aaron Wan-Bissaka. There's been a lot of talks going on about Declan Rice, as we all know, the West Ham player, and he's a defensive midfielder, as we all know. He can operate centre back, but I think he's mainly defensive midfielder. He's Declan Rice, again, one of England's youngest upcoming talents. I think he's rated at around £40 million. Reportedly, he's had a good season with West Ham. He's got a contract with West Ham until 2024, as we all know, as well as Declan Rice. But reportedly, he's had a good season with West Ham, and of course, he's only 20 years of age, so he's still very, very young indeed. And do you think he'd blend in very, very well in our midfield alongside the likes of Pogba and Matic, of course, as well? So there has been talks about Declan Rice as well. And we do know that Chelsea's Callum Hudson-Odoi, has been mentioned as well. I think Solskjaer did say he wants Callum Hudson-Odoi at Manchester United, because it did say Man United have been interested in him. Again, he's British, he's only 18 years of age, he's one of England's youngest upcoming talents. Not too long ago, made his England senior debut, of course, as well. Did Callum Hudson-Odoi. I don't think Chelsea will sell him this summer, of course, because obviously it's looking like Chelsea are going to lose Eden Hazard to Real Madrid, of course. But Chelsea have plus got a transfer ban. But for me, I do really, really like Callum Hudson-Odoi, to be quite honest. And he hasn't really been given the opportunity at Chelsea. I know recently, I think he made his first Premier League start, Callum Hudson-Odoi, but I think he's still got strong reservations about his game time. I think he has been playing regular, in the cup competitions, all like Callum Hudson-Odoi, of course. But I think Chelsea have tried to convince him, to sign a new contract, of course. And obviously, Bayern Munich probably will revive their interest this summer, because it was Bayern Munich's top priority back in January, of course. Bayern Munich held negotiations. Bayern Munich had a host of bids turned down, and actually Callum Hudson-Odoi back in January put a transfer request in, but Chelsea weren't willing, to let him go, of course. So Chelsea were being ruthless, and they were reluctant, to let him go. He's still under contract with Chelsea until 2020. Callum Hudson-Odoi. I think Liverpool have also showed an interest in him as well. Liverpool have had negotiations with his current agent, as we all know, as well. So possibly he could still leave this summer, and he may still want to leave Chelsea this summer, Callum Hudson-Odoi, of course, as well. But yeah, he's been a Manchester United target, of course, as well. And potentially, I do think we need someone, obviously, that can link up with the likes of Martial and Rashford, of course, in our front line. And we do know that probably Jadon Sancho would be the right solution, in my opinion. But again, he's going to cost Manchester United around £100 million, is Jadon Sancho, as we all know. And, there's been a narrative going about now for the last 4 or 5 weeks, that Manchester United have been heavily linked, with Jadon Sancho, as we all know, as well. And I really, really highly rate Jadon Sancho. I think he's a really, really good player. I think he can play between the bylines. He can put crosses into the box as well. Can Jadon Sancho, and he's done very, very well for Germany. He's proven himself fantastically well in Germany. Borussia Dortmund. This is his second season at Dortmund, of course, as well. But I think he's got good physical attributes. He can put crosses into the box, as I said. And if he were to come to an agreement to get him in the summer, this would make him the most expensive English footballer ever, of course, as well. I think he's attracted interest from quite a few teams, of course, as well. But I think Borussia Dortmund are adamant that he will not leave next season, of course, as well. But it will probably cost us in the region of a 9-figure sum of £100 million. He's just recently turned 19 years of age, and he's one of England's youngest upcoming talents. Borussia Dortmund only paid £8 million to him a couple of years ago from Manchester City, as we all know, as well. So potentially Manchester United have been heavily linked with him. But we have got a few targets we're interested in. We know there's been a lot of talks going on about Saul Niguez as well. Do you think we'd identify him as a good replacement for Fernando Herrera? Because I did say in that midfield, his performances have been way below par in the last couple of games. Matic for me is too slow, and I've got strong reservations about him. And we've got the fringe players with the likes of Fred, McTominay and Pereira. And to be quite fair, when we did have that injury crisis, McTominay and Pereira, stepped up to the plate really, really well indeed. But for me, I don't think they've got the capabilities, to graduate to that level, of course. So I think definitely new additions are needed into our midfield, of course, as well. But as I did say, there is going to be a big summer clear out. As I said, it's looking like Valencia's on his way out. As I said, I've already updated you on. Probably Rojo's on his way out in the summer. Bay's probably on his way out in the summer as well. Bay's probably on his way out in the summer as well if a new centre-back is to come in. Probably David's probably on his way out in the summer. Sanchez definitely probably on his way out in the summer as well. Probably Lukaku could be on his way out this summer, of course, as well. Probably, Mata could be on his way out as well. So I think quite a few players are going to leave. Probably at least 6 players are going to depart Manchester United this summer, of course, as well. So essentially that's mainly everything to update you on today. As I did say, I'll give you my predictions on the Man United Barcelona game. Well, I think over the 2 legs, I hate to be negative, but I think Barcelona are going to do it, to be quite honest, because we're the underdogs going into this game. And, we don't forget, we did perform a miraculous comeback against PSG, so you just never know, indeed. But for me, I think United can get a draw at Old Trafford against Barcelona, but I think when we do go to the new camp, it's going to be extremely difficult, indeed, of course. I think probably maybe 1-1 at Old Trafford or 2-2 or something like that, and probably I think maybe 2 or 3-1 to Barcelona in the second leg. So potentially, that's going to be my predictions, of course. But we're definitely not going to keep a clean sheet in these 2 legs against Barcelona, because obviously, even though I've analysed us since Solskjaer's coming defensively, we have improved. But as I did currently say, we're not good enough, to keep a clean sheet in these 2 legs against Barcelona. Barcelona, elite opposition. They're on they're going to be winning another La Liga again. Obviously they're a well-established club with great players. Messi's probably still the best player in the world. They've got Luis Suarez in that team, of course, as well. So yeah, so I wanted to give you an update today on this video. I wanted to talk a bit more about Man U Barcelona. I also wanted to talk a little bit about Liverpool and Porto, of course. Well, my predictions to Liverpool Porto, I probably think Liverpool are definitely going to win this game, even though I think they're focusing more on the league, to be quite honest, because obviously they want to win the league. The Liverpool, of course, obviously from Manchester City's perspective, they obviously believe the quadruple. They believe they can win the quadruple Manchester City, but yeah, it's very, very close indeed at the top, between Liverpool and Manchester City, of course, as well. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you, I would appreciate if you would smash that like button. It's quite honestly, you don't have to if you don't want to. If you do, consider subscribe to the channel. As always, I'll probably be back with more live videos very later on, probably maybe tonight. We'll be back with one more live video. And take care, God bless, guys, and I'll see you guys all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.